kids.
We're good. Hit the switch.
Everybody ready?
That's the people joining
Please
the
join.
Okay.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, wait. If I could ask you all to stand again.
Can you hit the
I
switch?
asked everybody to have a moment of silence.
The audio?
Paul Fava. Paul Fava was a town employee, who's head of building and maintenance for many years, and he passed away recently. So we could have a moment of silence. Thank you. All right. Madam Town Clerk, can I get a roll call?
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. D'Adriano?
Here.
Mr. Rogan?
Here.
Ms. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Wood?
Here. Somebody like to audit the bills?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve abstract number 23 dated December 11th, 2020 in the amount of $676,868.16. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
See, we have a number of budget transfers. Would somebody like to take care of the budget transfers?
Yeah, I'll do that. Let's see. I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that the town board approve budget transfer number 29, moving $250 from an account contractual expense to records management contractual expense accounts, $250. Budget transfer request number 30, moving $1,500 from the contingency account to central data processing contractual expense account. Budget transfer request number 31, moving $5,000 from recreation center contractual utilities expense account to recreation center contractual expense accounts. Budget transfer number 32, moving $380 from water admin contractual expense account to source of power contractual expense accounts. Budget transfer 33, moving money from sanitation contractual, workers' compensation, employee benefit, hospital and medical insurance, employee benefit expense accounts to sanitation contractual transfer charges expense account. That's the amount of $23,000. Budget transfer request number 34, moving money $13,860.44 from the federal aid other health revenue account to ambulance personnel services, ambulance contractual, employee benefits, Social Security, employee benefits, Medicare, and MTA taxes contractual expense accounts. All right. So I will make a motion that the town board approve budget transfer request 29 through 34. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I also have, we all have a memo from the Office of the Comptroller with regard to funds transfer. And this is in the amount of transferring $4,439.11 from the trust and agency escrow account to the Patterson Sewer District. Let me see here. Sewer District account. And in the amount of $4,439.11. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Barry? Okay, every year the town has to have completed its own individual audit, as do other agencies. We're a little bit behind. In 2018, we did put this out to bid and signed a contract with an auditor. The contract we signed allows us to extend his contract through 2021. We've gotten a price to do the 2019 and 2020 audit. It actually came in less than the initial audit, which was, he quoted us a price of $12,000. He is currently looking to do 2019 and 2020 for the sum of $9,000 for each year. We do have a resolution approving Theodore Eglett Jr., CPA, to complete the annual financial report for 2019 and 2020. And I would like to introduce this resolution, ask that it be entered into the minutes as read. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, last Friday, Governor Cuomo did a new executive order, Executive Order 20283, which allows for towns to adopt a resolution which allows our assessor to accept the exemptions from 2020 as being applicable to 2021. There are some exceptions here. If somebody passes away, God forbid, or if they sell their home, the assessor can then request that they submit, for any new exemptions. But I'd like to introduce this resolution authorizing the town assessor to grant certain exemptions without renewal applications pursuant to Executive Order 202-83, and ask that it be entered into the minutes as read. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mary?
Employee evaluations is the first item on my agenda. Yep, sorry. Okay, we have employee evaluations. We visited this topic a few times, and I have here the four different versions of the evaluation, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to review them, but I do myself favor the shortened version. They're not numbered, so.
That would have helped, wouldn't it?
It's this one?
Which one are we looking at?
Oh,
Okay. I think it's detailed enough, and it's general enough that it'll fit every department within the town. Right, that's a longer version, and that
You
has
want this one?
this one, because that one specifically has topics in it that you wouldn't really do, you really wouldn't address in an evaluation. They're more would need to be addressed at the time that the employee needed improvement on such stated
Which
comment here.
which one of the items on the longer version do you think should be addressed in employee evaluation?
Has completed their mandatory training. I don't think that you would want to wait for the entire year to pass before you would speak about that. You'd want to make sure that that was done within the time frame that they're supposed to do it.
I agree, but trust me, we actually hound some people
Right.
continually and cannot get them to do their mandatory training.
Mhm.
So for me, I think that's one of the key issues about, doing an employee evaluation, because this is going to be used, potentially for,
Yeah, I get your point, but
added compensation.
I think that, so if an employee has a deadline of a task that they're supposed to complete within their job description, and they've passed the deadline, and, a nice reminder a couple days after, hey, you haven't completed that training, and then another week goes by, and now you email them documentation. So now we're going to email them and just say, hey, still haven't gotten that training done, and we still don't get it done. I don't think that waiting a full year, I think that we could comment on that in another section of the evaluation well, if you're keeping notes, but I don't want to jump too far ahead to the end of the year. But what you need to do is actually, and Sean and I were just speaking about this because he's asking me, about my style and how I do certain things. At that point, you would give them a formal communication and letting them know that this is what's required of you. This is when it should be self-corrected, and the outcome of failure to do what your expectation is, or what you've been trained to do, or whatever the duty is that lays within your job description. I think that work habits, it would fall under work habits, quality, quantity of work. I think that if you're making those notations during the year, and at the end of the year, we get to on the evaluation that I'm
So you're saying
favoring.
that's
I
a specific task that should be
Right,
put under
within,
a more general,
yes,
evaluation
yes, because it's something that you would want to address when it happened, not at the end of the year. You can notate it here, so, quality, quantity of work, all right? You're not completing your work on time, so you need improvement, and then you would make the comment here, why, you have a needs improvement in that subject line. I think there was something else in here.
Well, respectfully, I disagree, and having dealt with many of the employees, who, eventually we get probably a 95% of the employees do it, but there's always that 5%. And we're dealing with two right now, who are elected officials who just, we can't do it. We can't get on, we can't do it, haven't done it,
I did it.
Good for you. Everybody was wondering if it was you or I. That's good, Mary.
I did do it. Okay, so I know that that's a stickler for you.
but I agree with Rich that, it's a big thing, and I think a lot of people don't do them, or, on time, but I think it's a very specific task
Mhm.
but it could be, you could put that under like Mary was saying, under one of these other topics as not finishing work, assigned work or assigned tasks.
Yeah, well,
You could still put it in there, but I don't think it should be a separate.
so
But
Also,
if
if you
it's a
look
separate-
at-
If it's a separate thing, and an employee sees that it's a separate thing, that gives a greater priority to the employee when they see something very specific that the town's going to be judging their performance on.
right, and this is what I just want to ask you about this. So now let's just say that they didn't do it until 3 months after their due date, when it's due. How are you going to rate them? How would I get an excellent? So if I do it in the time frame, is that excellent?
I would say, yeah.
Okay,
If
so
we have
what
to
would
nag you about it,
so
that's
what
not
would be very
excellence.
good? So you have to, it's kind of like attendance, because it's it's rubric driven. So if you look at the attendance, the sick days, so how do I get an excellent? It's clearly marked out here. If I take 0 to 2 days, I'm excellent in attendance. If I take 3 to 6, I'm good. So how would I get an excellent? How am I very good with the mandatory training? How am I only good? We're going to map out the amount of time that, you know what I'm saying? So I think that if you want to take it and give it its own line, and now we're going to put this off again, then if we do that, if you really want this on here, then you give it its own line, and you say mandatory training completed, the date, and then you put, you give them, good or not good, like you do with tardiness.
But that's, okay, being as we're switching a little bit, that's one of the other issues that I have with this shorter form is attendance. If we give somebody 12 sick days a year and they take 12 sick days, now we're going to give them an unsatisfactory rating because we gave them time and they took it.
Well, what, is there a difference here between people calling in sick versus scheduled in terms of whether it's a scheduled absence or an unscheduled absence? So I would think if you have somebody calling in sick 12 days, all one day at a time unscheduled, that's different than somebody that says, hey, I'm going to be having something, or I'm out sick, but I'm out for 3 days because I had a bad cold. That's one occasion using 3 days. It's a very different
Well,
thing than somebody
also-
that calls in sick 12 times throughout the year.
Also,
All on
more of a pattern.
Fridays.
Well,
All on
also,
Fridays.
you have to consider, so just because, can they accumulate their sick time?
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay, so why would we say we're giving it to them and now we're penalizing them for not taking it? No, time should be saved in the
That's right.
event that you
The
have,
big insurance policy.
right, exactly, so you're not running out of time.
Yeah.
Now, if someone's out on FMLA, you certainly aren't going to give them, a needs improvement because there's this, it's medically documented illness that you wouldn't want to give them a negative on that sick time. But so, they can't say, well, you gave me the time, so I took it. I have it. It's there. I took it. No, it's there for you. Like you're saying, an insurance policy. So you have to decide what's tolerable. 0 to 2 is excellent. How many days?
Would it be 0 to 2 actual days or 0 to 2 events?
Unscheduled.
No.
Like you said, so if you
No.
get sick for 2-3, you have the flu, you're out for 2-3 days, is that count as one event?
Should be.
Well,
Or is that-
like an
or you
occurrence,
count-
no,
yeah,
it should be,
an
it should be by days and there's nothing against notating that, we understand that you had, X situation. We acknowledge that you had the flu and you used 10 days, but, this is a way to keep, from losing time and losing. I wouldn't suggest taking it out.
Can I comment? Two things. I prefer one of the other forms,
Mhm.
but that's just it. I don't think you would evaluate anyone on their work performance relative to tardiness and sickness, okay? I think that that's conditions of employment. And you can address that if you use one of these other forms with the big boxes that said you give somebody a rating of, needs improvement, or what is it? Well, you missed all of these deadlines, okay? Yes, due to illness or what have you, but you still missed the deadlines. So my take is that using one of these other ones where you can spell out for the employee more little commentary. Here, you save all of the commentary for this one box. I just think the other way is better.
Well, I think
That's
this
up to
is,
that's really,
I understand that, but for the person giving the evaluation, something like this is a little more rigorous because there's an expectation of a comment in every box. So
Well-
if someone's doing excellent, I don't think, if they're doing excellent, there should be a comment there on why they're so excellent. Or if they need improvement or they're unsatisfactory, there should be a comment to that. But if someone's doing very good or good, you can comment on how good they're doing at the end, but I don't think you'd have to comment in every box. So I think that we have to still we're going to have to sit down and talk about
Yeah,
this.
You want to have a work
Mary?
session on it.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually agree with
I think that's what we talked
Charlie.
about the last time.
Yeah,
All right, work
Yeah.
session.
Yeah,
let's
see what we
do it.
I
I vote
listen.
for 2021 on that one.
So we took a vote because there were only 3 of us one night when we
Yeah.
put this on to discuss it. We took a vote. We decided let's move forward with this.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought at that point we were much, much closer than apparently
I think we are. No, I think we are. I think
Well,
we-
that's because you took the vote when I wasn't there.
I think we're down
No,
to two.
I think you
we're
were.
down to two forms.
Just kidding.
I,
We're down to two now, yes.
All right.
All right,
Well, no,
so,
not really.
so why don't we figure out,
Let's
beginning
do
of
that.
January,
Yeah.
someday we can all get together and try to work this out.
I think it would be helpful maybe if I came with some other documentation that will help with this, because it's kind of like we're working from the top going down, but we really need to work from the bottom going up. So the documentation that leads to the evaluation, or,
That may be helpful.
We could do it at our work session when we're going to go over our list
There you go.
yeah,
of our
there you go.
items we need to work on.
Add this to the list.
sounds good.
We'll put it on the top of the list.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, fire department contracts. Okay, so we have two notice of hearings, public notices that we would like to authorize the Town of Patterson Town Clerk to advertise for a contract for fire protection for the Patterson, and also contract for fire protection for the Putnam Lake Fire Department. So I'd like to make a motion to authorize the town clerk to advertise for the notice of hearing for both contracts. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Peter?
All right, first on my agenda, I have county resource workers, so. let's see here.
That's the resolution I just gave you.
Thank you. So I have a resolution here entering an agreement to authorize the supervisor to renew our agreement with the Putnam County Office of Senior Resources for an outreach worker. Okay, the outreach worker will be, reaches out to residents 60 and older that might need resources, health and financial resources in the town. So we have a resolution here. I'd like to introduce this resolution to authorize the supervisor to renew the agreement for $2,500, Putnam County Office for Senior Resources, and enter into the record as read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have our contract with Partners in Safety, or we need to renew our contract for $799. Now, is that just the basic testing and
Yes.
drug and alcohol testing for the drug and alcohol testing program? But plus, there's also a fee schedule here for additional charges. So if they're for post-accident or random drug testing, stuff like that. Well, actually, is the random drug testing part of the program?
Random is part of the program.
And then the other is as needed, I guess.
Yes.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve $799 for Partners in Safety to renew our contract. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is all I have.
Charles?
All right. I have a question here. I have shelter contract renewal, and I have one resolution between the town and Putnam County, and I have two
Between the town and Putnam County? No. Between the Putnam Humane Society.
Putnam County Humane Society and the town and Brook Farm.
So there's the resolution. There's the draft contract with the Humane Society, which we use as the secondary, if you remember.
Yep.
Here is the resolution, and here is the agreement between the town and Brook Farms, which we use as the primary because it's cheaper, and we get to send the dogs that we pick up directly to a vet if they have any health issues, rather than,
Thank you. I understand
okay.
the premise. I was just, okay, so this resolution goes with the agreement, and this resolution with the Putnam County Humane Society is just all we have right now, right?
No, there's two resolutions,
Yeah,
Different resolutions.
okay? And there's two agreements. What do you have?
I have one agreement
What
with
don't
Brook
you have?
Farm.
Well, there's the one for the health, for humane.
So the agreement with the Humane Society is the resolution.
You've got the agreement right there. Here's the
Yeah.
resolution. All right?
Okay, thank you.
He had an early morning today, so.
All right, I will make a motion that the town board approve the resolution between the town and the Putnam County Humane Society to provide animal shelter service to dogs captured by the Patterson Dog Control Officer. The year 2021 and 2022 at a total annual cost of $5,000. So I'll make a motion
Second.
that the town,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that this resolution be entered into the record as read and the town board approves
I heard him
such.
say so.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Is that a $5,000 like unlimited? Does it, they can take it as many dogs as they want there? Well, they get charged, right? The animal owner would get charged.
To pick the dog back
I
up.
think the dog back.
Yeah, no, it's a lump sum fee for providing, for sending all the dogs that we can send over there. Now, the reality is, we generally send less than 10 dogs over there.
Yeah.
Last year, we sent 2 or 3. So
But we need a backup if Brook Farm is.
Brook Farm, so the problem with Brook Farms is they're only gonna keep the dogs for a very limited time, right? Then what do you do with the dogs?
Yeah,
So that's why we use the Humane Society as the backup.
makes sense.
So,
Next, we have a resolution for renewal of the agreement with Brook Farm Veterinary Center to accept unclaimed dogs captured by the Patterson Dog Control Officer. This agreement is also for 2 years, commencing January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2022. And somewhere is the cost is outlined in the agreement. I'll make a motion that the town board approve this resolution as read and enter it into the record. So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Hold on, Charlie. You all set?
I'm set.
Okay.
No, he is not.
Oh, okay. Now what? Oh, late breaking news. Year-end resolution. I didn't have a copy of this. No.
Just keep smiling.
Be it resolved that all bills ordered by the town board of the town of Patterson be paid and authorization be given for bills and encumbrances that might arise through December 31st, 2020. And further, be it further resolved that all transfers be automatically approved by the town board, subject to their review at the new town board. I think this is supposed to be the next town board meeting. Budget transfers as of December 31st, 2020 are to be attached to the minutes books. I'll make a motion that we approve this year-end resolution. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sean, you're up.
Okay, so as everyone hopefully recalls, we had put out a bid packet for renewing or not renewing, but getting bids for the residential and recyclable collection services for garbage district number 1. We did not get any bids first go around. We put it back out and we now have 4 people who have submitted bids. They are all over the place in terms of cost. And so the town board needs to discuss not only the bidders and the qualities and the what makes a competent bidder, but also the type of service that we'd be looking at. Because as we did 5 years ago, within the bid, we also looked at things like automated collection services, which I don't believe we did last time, but So again, the costs are all over the place. I think we had discussed that it might be beneficial to spend some time with this and to look on our record of past practice for the current bidder to see if they are worth considering continuing to do business with. Russ, you're here. Do you have any comment or anything that you'd like to say for tonight, or just want to take it all in?
No, I've taken it in here a bit.
Okay.
I think we have to go between Suburban and AAA, throw Oak Ridge out and city carting and stick with the manual. I mean, I would say the automated, the reason it's probably so high is because you could throw anything in there. It's so much more weight.
It's actually, most carters bid that higher because they have to provide the cans.
So year one is always high, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and within AAA's bid I think it was AAA's.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, it was Suburban Carting's bid, I think. No, it was AAA.
No,
I'm
AAA,
sorry.
they start
So-
and then they go cheaper.
So they actually said, that they have to have the 5-year contract to do that. Otherwise, the town's got to pay for the cans.
Yeah, makes sense. So I think what we need to do is take a hard look at this.
All right. So while we're all taking a hard look at this, is there any additional information or any questions any town board member has at this time? Or any information you're looking for that I can, or Trish or Russ can, seek out?
The only information I'm looking for, Rich, doesn't relate to anything on this paper. It relates to past practice of our current contractee,
All right.
and to see if they are, in the town's eyes, still a responsible bidder, essentially, regardless of whether they're a low bidder or not.
Okay.
Because I'm not on the end of dealing with the complaints like you are, but it sounded like there are significant issues that if we were to continue to do business with them, we need to have those resolved before I think we would feel comfortable signing a contract. Because I don't want your job and Russ's job to continue to be as difficult as they've been in the last 5 years.
All right, certainly we can pull together, hopefully we can pull together in short order a summary of past issues.
Well, especially when the price on the bid is only a difference of like $16 a year between the first and the second bidder for a 1-year deal.
Can
Per
we,
unit. Per
Per unit, of course.
Per
Yeah.
unit.
can we also, is it possible that we have the dollar amounts that the town, it cost the town to pick up for their lack of services that we had the issues with? So it did actually cost Russ's department to have to go out and pick up where they were negligent
Yeah.
and didn't fulfill their part of the contract.
Point.
It
Yeah,
was
it just
cost
seems
to the
like
town.
from the first year, even with all the pickups, just regular pickups, it's just been I don't think the residents are very happy with their current.
Some people are
Some of them have been very vocal.
very
yes.
happy
Yeah.
with this.
All right, we'll pull all that together. If possible. So next week, I believe we're doing our organizational meeting. And then the following 2 weeks, 2 weeks after that, we're doing the town board meeting on the 13th. I got that right? Yeah, that's right.
Sounds about right.
That's right. If at all possible, I would love to have this wrapped up because there's going to be a transition period. We need to know which way we're going to go.
In all fairness, the carting company is probably gonna have to
Yeah.
either reschedule people or buy additional trucks or whatever they have to do.
That's very reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you could look at this and maybe you could have a further conversation, the organizational meeting and see where we are.
Sounds
Mhm.
good.
All right. And I'll take care of things on my end. All right. Any other town board member have any other business?
I think you said you were going to lead us in a Christmas caroling, didn't you, Rich?
So if you haven't seen the picture, thank God. You all know by now, I played the band. When I played the band, they all wanted everybody in the band to sing, and so I went and bought a microphone. Then they took my microphone away and wouldn't give it back. So I'm not being given anything.
That's very good. Very good, thank you. You did a good one.
right. I do have one thing that was handed to me today that we will be putting up. I'm a little reluctant to announce this tonight.
You had on now. We
I
should
know.
announce it next week.
Yeah, but then it's the 13th or the 20th.
All right, that's true because it's a delay on me, so. Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Bah humbug.
So, you're right, I know, it's a killer.
So the Patterson Highway Department will be collecting Christmas trees this year on January 20th.
21st.
21st? 21st to 22nd, sorry.
Yeah.
Try to read it through the paper.
And if you haven't gotten your Christmas tree yet, Tractor Supply has them for like $9.
Oh, yeah.
Do they
Yeah.
really?
$9.99 or whatever. They're beautiful. It's such a shame.
Russ, for this, for the pickup,
Yeah.
make sure all the tinsel's off and everything. There should be nothing on the tree. Or
I got that today at 2 o'clock.
no bat, not any bags.
I mean,
You
wanna-
shred them, you.
No, no.
Yeah.
Jump.
Actually, we did do one of them. I think, yeah, we did.
I don't think so.
Do we have anybody joining us tonight by Zoom who has any comments?
Other than Merry Christmas.
Is this anything or is this?
So I got that today at 2 o'clock. I haven't had a chance to talk with Trish. I talked a little bit with.
Just for another
Trish.
time.
But yeah, I think we'll do that. They will do that with you. So,
We do have three people, can you just ask one more time?
does anybody in the public or joining us by Zoom have any comments or questions for the town board tonight?
You're not on mute.
Nope. Okay. Can I get a vote? Well, before we do that, I think on behalf of the town board,
Yes.
all of us here, we wish all of you out there a very Merry Christmas and a safe and happy New Year.
And hope that 2021 is a lot better than 2020.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
riddance to
that's what it
2020. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.